Does this havdalah have the candle? Yes, this havdalah does have the candle. You are not required to have a havdalah candle to participate. Okay, so we are broadcasting live. I can see that on my computer. It's monitoring things. So to those who are watching us live on YouTube, welcome. Or if you're watching us live on Facebook, welcome. If you're not, well, then you're here with us. So the first half of our service will be live streamed, and you'll be able to watch and participate from home in the 2020-2021 havdalah that we're doing. And then after we get to the midpoint of our service, we'll actually stop the live stream in order to facilitate conversation among those who are logged on to our Zoom call right now. So thank you for logging on, whether you're on Zoom or off of it. We will go ahead and get started with Shalom Aleichem, greeting one another. This is traditionally a song associated with Kabbalat Shabbat. We're using humanistic lyrics, but the sentiment is the same. We are greeting one another as people who seek to make a better world. And after 2020, I hope we can keep working for that. Shalom Aleichem, Ohavei HaShalom, Shomrei Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Rodfei HaShalom, Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Ohavei HaShalom, Shomrei Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Rodfei HaShalom, Shalom Aleichem. Boachem L'Shalom, Ohavei HaShalom, Tzedchem L'Shalom. Miyom Zeh Leyamim Habayim, Shalom Aleichem. Boachem L'Shalom, Ohavei HaShalom, Tzedchem L'Shalom. Miyom Zeh Leyamim Habayim, Shalom Aleichem. And it translates to, and you can see on the bottom, peace to you, those who love peace, guardians of peace. Peace to you, pursuers of peace. Come in peace, those who love peace. Go in peace from today and in all the days to come. Peace to you. And we would love to be able to greet each other in person, but we know that we still aren't really there yet. Very few people have been vaccinated. Nobody has received a second vaccine unless they're participating in a trial. So we are continuing to build community online. This is a poem by Devon Spire, and it spoke to me for a reason that I'll talk about after I read it to you. And it says, to say before you dare speak, dare to look, dare to reach a congregation, another human being, and you shall see them and remember. The fringes, right? Wrong. And yet not once, us or me, where you would cover our bodies in cloth, I am cloaking each person I cannot see in mercy. And this is a conversation that we have had at Machar occasionally about the problem of I'm fine. And mostly, at least at my house, I'm fine. A lot of us are personally fine in a lot of ways, even as everything around us is not fine. All these people we can't see. And so we hope that people we can't see are treated mercifully, and we have an obligation to act to do that. And that's been one of the things that's been intensified about 2020, right? Every year, the reality is there are people we hope are treated well and we can't see them. We don't know them. They're not within our lives. They're not within our immediate families or immediate networks of people, but we want them to be treated well. We've done this for years and years and years. We know that we know social problems are a problem, and we don't have contact with everybody who needs help. And so we at least hope for those we can't see to be cloaked in mercy, even as we can't provide it. And one of the things about 2020 moving into 2021 is a lot of us spent 2020 afraid. And that's totally normal because 2020 was a pretty scary year. We are always sort of exposed to germs and pathogens and all kinds of other things that we can't see that could hurt us but usually don't. That fear is intensified right now still. And so Rabbi Sherwin Wein, founder of Humanistic Judaism, wrote once, "Courage is the power to confront a world that is not always fair. It is the refusal to beg for what will never be given. It is the willingness to accept what cannot be changed." And again, that's the measure of courage, is not whether we're afraid, is not how much fear you do or don't have, but is your willingness to nevertheless stand up and look at a world that's not fair. And we understand that the world isn't fair, that there's nothing fair about much of what's happening right now. There's not much that was fair about what a lot of us remember from 2020. But courage is the power to confront a world that's not fair, and the world's not fair. And so I'd like to kind of help us step past 2020 a little bit. And the way that Jewish tradition provides us for ending things is through havdalah. Havdalah means distinction or division, and ordinarily we use a havdalah candle for Shabbat. Other holidays end with usually just a cup of wine. Today we're using a havdalah candle, so if you have a havdalah candle, you're welcome to light it. If you don't have a havdalah candle and you want to join in with a havdalah candle anyway, that is totally doable. Take 2 Shabbat candles and strap them together with something, and you have a havdalah candle. The idea is just having something that looks like a torch. This is a slightly different kind of havdalah candle for those of you who haven't seen it before. It's shaped like a pyramid. And was purchased for us in the Israeli city of Tzfat. Ordinarily, when you put a havdalah candle out, you put it out in wine or grape juice or something like that. But we're trying to get rid of 2020 from us a little bit, right? We're trying to turn the page. And so rather than use wine for this, I'm instead using water. The idea being we have an opportunity here to kind of wash some things off and start fresh. And so rather than using wine, today I'm using water to put out the havdalah candle. And we'll have Shabbat candles in just a couple of moments, actually. But knowing that we want to continue to improve the world, knowing that we have to be courageous even when we're afraid. Al ken nekaveh lashana tova, navdil ben shana lashana, unevarech et hashana hachadasha. Therefore let us hope for a good year. Let us distinguish between one year and another, and let us bless the new year. And we very carefully put our havdalah candle out. And I guess now it's officially at Machar 2021, even though it really was 2021, 18 hours ago or so. So, Happy New Year, everybody, in a kind of official way for 2021. Those who are tuning in just for the havdalah portion, that ends the havdalah portion, but I do hope that you'll stick around for some of the rest of Shabbat as well. A kavanah for Shabbat. So kavanah is a Hebrew word that means intention, right? So a kavanah is a text or something that you say that helps you draw your attention and bring a purpose to a ritual. And so we're bringing a kavanah, a purpose, to our celebration of Shabbat, our lighting of Shabbat candles tonight. And we use a text adapted from Mishkan Halev, which says, I honor the gift of stillness and rest, a day devoted to peace. Peace within. On this day I have everything I need. Peace with those around me. On this day I seek no quarrel or strife. Peace of earth and sky, green trees and quiet water. I give thanks that I am present in this world. I celebrate existence, the breath within me, the beating of my heart, the love that blesses my life. And before we light our Shabbat candles, we'll sing an adaptation of the verse from Psalm 97, Or Zarua. The only real change is from Lat Tzadik to Lat Tzadikim to reflect multiple people, multiple genders. Or Zarua Lat Tzadikim Ule Yishre Lev Simcha. 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 And it translates to, may light be sown for the righteous and joy for the just at heart. If you have Shabbat candles to join us with, you're welcome to light them. If you don't have Shabbat candles, I have you covered. I promise there's 2 of them, but I only have 2 hands, 1 lighter, and 1 candle at a time. And as we light, we can recite whatever blessing works for us. The one I use is Nivarech et haor ba'olam, Nivarech et haor ba'adam, Nivarech et haor shel Shabbat. Let us bless the light in the world. Let us bless the light in humanity. Let us bless the light of Shabbat. And recognizing that our job is to bring light into the world, not just to light a couple of candles and say that we're doing a good thing. We sing Eifo Ori, which was written by Humanistic Judaism's founder, Sherwin Wine. We'll sing it first in Hebrew and then in English. And if you don't know it in Hebrew, that's okay. There's always the option of lie, 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 bye, 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 die, 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 whatever. That's kind of the Jewish version of la, la, la. And then hopefully you can pick up the melody and then sing with us in English. Eifo Ori, Ori Bi, Eifo Tikvati, Tikvati Bi, Eifo Kochi, Kochi Bi, Vegam Bach, Vegam Bach, Eifo Kochi, Kochi Bi, Vegam Bach, Vegam Bach. Where is my light? My light is in me. Where is my hope? My hope is in me. Where is my strength? My strength is in me. And in you. And in you. Where is my strength? My strength is in me. And in you. And in you. Because Shabbat is a celebration, we have wine, and it kind of follows on a verse from the Psalms that says, wine gladdens the human heart. And so it literally says, wine gladdens the heart of a man, but we like the human heart more generally better. So if you have wine, or in my case, grape juice, you are welcome to recite the blessing with us. Nivarech et yotzrei pri hagafen, let us bless those who create the fruit of the vine. And Shabbat is kind of always associated with food, unless it overlaps with Yom Kippur, which is sometimes an unfortunate thing that happens in some ways. But I have a board of matzah because this still feels like we're transitioning out of 2020 into 2021, right? The problems from 2020 really don't go away. And so having a reminder of that, a little bit of what during the Seder we call the bread of affliction, seemed like an appropriate choice this week. If you have challah or bread or crackers or something else, you're free to join in. Technically, cake and cookies don't count, but I won't tell if you don't. Nivarech et hamotziim lechem min haaretz, let us bless those who bring forth bread from the earth. And I will not be eating the matzah so that I don't have matzah crumbs all over me. Rabbi Jeffrey Falick, who is the rabbi at the Birmingham Temple, which is the founding congregation of Humanistic Judaism, wrote this reinterpretation of Psalm 104. Psalm 104 is traditionally recited during many Friday night Shabbats because it talks about cycles of nature, and we're entering a different cycle of nature. We're coming into nighttime. And it's a chance for us to stop and to say, in essence, wow, nature. And so I'll read this for us, and you can feel free to read along at home or responsively if you just want to read what's in italics. When we peer at the sky, it looks as if it were spread like a tent cloth. Below it the clouds, chariot-like, moving on the wings of the wind. The moon and the sun mark our days and our nights. Circadian rhythms bring forth the beasts of the forest, who at night seek their prey. When the sun rises, they return to their places of rest as humans begin their day. There is the sea, vast and wide, with its creatures beyond number, living things great and small. How many are the marvels that are found upon earth? How full is the earth with life? And we're sort of concluding the Kabbalat portion of our Kabbalat Shabbat tonight with Lecha Dodi. This is a humanistic Lecha Dodi, so it reflects sort of the broader idea of celebrating Shabbat with a human and humane focus. And the melody that we'll use tonight was originally composed by Joey Weissenberg. So for those of you who are Joey Weissenberg fans, we're using that melody tonight. Shabbat, Penei Shabbat Kabbalat, Penei Shabbat, Penei Shabbat Kabbalat. And the Humanistic Kabbalat says, "Come, let us go greet the bride to welcome Shabbat. Let's go greet Shabbat because of the blessing it brings. With happiness, gladness, and joy, let us welcome Shabbat." We've sort of reached the midpoint, but before we go in full and turn off the live stream, I have the text posted. What's next? The people live streaming are about to find out that I'm a huge fan of The West Wing. I mean, if you haven't been trolling my Twitter and Facebook accounts, you now know I'm a huge fan of The West Wing. And this is the thing that the president says when he's ready to move on. What's next? And I feel like a lot of us are ready to move on. We're asking, okay, what's next? Maybe with a little more optimism than with, oh, what's next? Which I think is how a lot of us spent a lot of the last year. Part of what's next in Jewish life is this is the last week for reading Genesis in the public Torah reading cycle that many synagogues use. And much of what's there for this week is poetry, blessings of the 12 sons of Jacob, 10 sons and 2 grandchildren, blessing the children who prefigure the 12 tribes of Israel. And so we have this long poem that is a blessing, and then we also have the story of Jacob being buried in Egypt, and we're sort of left with the cliffhanger, and the cliffhanger we know from having celebrated Passover is the story moves on and says that Israelites lived in Egypt and were oppressed, and Joseph was forgotten. But what's significant about the turn is it's a turn from a story of family origins to a story of freedom. Because that's really what's happening in Exodus, is there's a story being told about freedom, about some form, and we can talk about the form, but some form of liberation. And so that's what's happening here, is we have a story that is rolling from the family story to a story of liberation. I hope that that's what this year brings. That we've been spending a lot of time hunkered down, many of us with family members. Not everybody gets along with all of their family members all of the time. Plenty of people are in abusive situations because of the lockdown. And hopefully, as we move from this period of disease and through and out of this period of disease, that the what's next question can eventually be answered with what's next is something better on the horizon. Those of you who joined us through the live stream, thank you for joining us. We're going to go ahead and convene as a local community for conversation now. Thank you for joining us, and I hope that you too have a happy new year.